I feel like it's kind of childish that people are so obsessed with finding these fucking aliens.
Oh,
like
take.
You're sitting there just obsessing like, oh my gosh, what if there's life out there? Like, how about try to like find the cure to like a disease, or like, I don't know, like end global warming, or try to do something productive.
Are you telling that the Tesla guy is stupid?
Maybe. What's up, Boston Baddies? Welcome back. Hi, it's Shannen.
It's Abby.
Your friend. And Abby.
Your Boston Baddies.
It's your Boston Baddies talking to our favorite Boston Baddies. Thank you guys so much for coming back. It feels like it's been so long since we've seen you.
It has, but if you're new here, follow us on social media. You won't regret it. You might, but there's only one way to find out. So
there's only one way to find out.
Hit that follow on Instagram. It's at drinksafterwork_ and at drinksafterwork __ on TikTok. Also, join our private Facebook group if you are a girl in the Boston area looking to make new friends, find events in the area, things to do, new restaurants to try, new bars to try, all the above. Almost 4,000 girls. Join today. Don't miss out. Be a Boston Baddie.
Be a Boston Baddie.
You know you want to.
Yeah. Okay, so we didn't record last week because... Why? Well, it was all my fault. No, I got scheduled for a work trip, Abby.
Business trip?
Like a business trip, like a grown-up.
Wow.
Just kidding. I actually definitely did not look like a grown-up on the trip.
Where'd you go?
So I went down to Charlotte, North Carolina. We have an office.
Charlotte. Queen City, baby.
So we have an office down there. I was down there for the week, so Monday through Friday, which is why we couldn't record, but I was here in spirit.
Yeah.
It was fun. It's always good to go down there. I feel like I've been to Charlotte a lot lately. Like I was there.
Visiting Caitlin.
Yeah.
I'm sure she's loving all the visits.
It was fun. So we were there all week. 6 a.m. flight home on Friday.
Ew.
Yeah, right? Disgusting. Never will I ever do that again, because we went out on Thursday and we're like out and about.
Per usual.
Obviously in my head, I'm like, guys, it'd be so much better if we just didn't go to sleep and we just went straight to the airport.
Stop. Did you not? Really?
In my head, I was like, what's worse? Like going home at like, midnight or 1 and getting like 4 hours of sleep and like waking up feeling like shit, or just like staying up and like powering through and then just like going straight on the flight. Like in my head, I was like, that's way better. You're not going to be tired that way.
Oh, God.
Little did I know, it's like probably the worst idea, because we stayed out wicked late. We probably stayed out till like 2. Like, I don't know, walked around outside, like came back. We're like, wow, we have like 2 hours to the airport. I was like packing, hanging out, like doing my nails. I don't know. Obviously not doing my nails.
So you didn't
sleep?
Like
shit. No. I ended up getting 20 minutes of sleep because it was 20 minutes before I had to leave, and I was like, all right, I can't make it anymore. I was like watching on like season 2 of Vampire Diaries, like just trying to find things to do to keep myself awake at this point. God. And it just wasn't happening. And I fell asleep with 20 minutes left. I wake up and felt horrible, like so bad.
Yeah. I think that would have been smart. One of the last times I was in Charlotte, I almost missed my flight because I went out the night before, came home to my hotel room, didn't set an alarm, woke up a half hour before the plane was taking off, and I somehow managed to not miss it.
How did you wait before it was taking off?
Mm-hmm.
That's impressive.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. That's crazy. I've never done that. I think I would have just called it.
I immediately almost started crying.
Oh my gosh. I would cry, especially for work. I think I'd cry. But I don't know. And the weird thing is, it's not even like I was that like, I wasn't like hammered or anything. Like we went out, it was like fun. I just, in my head, I was like, I'm just staying up. Like that's just going to be the best move for me. So I guess at the airport, like all of my work friends are there and people were like in rare form. Like no one looked great.
Oh.
It was rough. And I slept like the whole flight. I finally get back to Boston and I went to Michael's parents' house because like he was dog sitting over the weekend for them.
Cute.
Yeah. And like I showed up and he was like, what is actually wrong with you? I was like, I don't know.
So much.
So we like FaceTime for like an hour on Friday and I was like so delirious and overtired. Like I barely remember.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, you forgot about it too, which I thought was weird. Because you like asked me a question. You were like, oh yeah, it's like we're doing like X, Y, and Z next weekend. And I was like, I know, we talked about this for like an hour.
I know, I don't remember. I have short-term memory loss. Almost forgot to mention our event that we had right before you left.
Oh my gosh. Yes, that was so fun.
I know. So thank you guys to everyone that came out to support us at our first happy hour partnered with Dezo. It was honestly such a good turnout. Couldn't have asked for anything more for our first event.
It was so fun.
So keep an eye out. I think we're doing a boozy brunch. So
yeah, it was
soon.
So fun though, because it was like a true happy hour, which is exactly I feel like what we wanted. Like there was some people that showed up like right at 5 and like left by like 6:30. There was some people who came at like 6 and stayed till like 8. Like it was so fun. And
Peter
it was cool.
Was there.
Yeah, Peter, you were there.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Peter, it means the world when you support us. It really does.
Because you weren't paid to be there. You're paid to be here right now, but you weren't paid to go to our
You
happy
came
hour.
out of the goodness of your heart.
Yeah.
Love that for us. Next happy hour, Peter's looking for
hot
Mrs.
and dangerous. I need to be put down. I'm like so overtired still. But yeah,
we digress.
We're here. We're good.
Yeah, it's been a minute. Since
How was your weekend? You went to Lola. Didn't you go?
Oh yeah. Oh, I went to Lola 42 on Friday, and I actually ran into. I didn't run into Maggie. McDonald was sitting right next to us, Maggie and Emma.
Oh.
And I didn't know if I should say hi. Mr. Man literally was like, Abby, right behind you.
That'd be creepy not to say hi.
Is Maggie. I know, but I didn't know if like I should interrupt her dinner.
Yeah.
And so I tap on her shoulder and I was like, hey, it's Abby from Drinks After Work.
Like you're calling her on the phone. Hey, it's Abby.
That's what Missing Man said. He said he sounded like a news reporter.
Hey, this is Abby reporting live from Drinks After Work. She's like, I'm just trying to eat.
I know. And I was like, oh, I didn't know if he'd recognize me with my brunette hair now. She's like, no, I saw on Instagram
we like spent the full day
it.
with her. Like, I think she'd recognize you.
I don't know. She meets a lot of people.
That's true.
And then naturally, I thought about it for the rest of the night.
No.
Yeah.
Okay, so when you texted me saying, oh yeah, I said hi to Maggie and then I blacked out, you meant like blacked out like mentally.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't know what I said. But if anyone goes to Lola 42, I highly, anyways, before I embarrass myself more, I highly recommend I don't know how to pronounce it. It's literally spelled concubine. Like it's CON-CU Bine. BINE. I don't know.
Like a prostitute?
Oh my God, I don't know.
There's a prostitute like option on the menu?
No, that's just the name of the drink. I don't know, but it basically tastes like a freaking vacation in a cup. If you don't like it's not orange juice, but it tastes kind of like acidic like orange juice.
Huh.
Please don't tell me that.
I always thought that concubine was like a prostitute, but I guess it means like a mistress. Interesting. So maybe it's like the mistress drink.
Interesting.
When you drink it, do you feel the urge to like leave the other drinks you've had and like go for that one?
Honestly, yeah.
Okay.
Because I ordered the boba drink right after and it was trash.
Because you missed the mistress drink.
Yeah. It was bourbon. I don't know why I ordered bourbon.
Wait,
but other than that, my meal was great.
Other than like the whole mistress like debacle that I got into and the blocking out in the intro.
Why do you remember my weekend more than I do?
I think it's confusing because I was the one running off of 20 minutes of sleep and I feel like we had like a really nice conversation for like an hour and a half. Like, until one of our phones died and I feel like it meant nothing to you. It didn't. Oh well. Well, I went to Neshoba this weekend. I feel like that's like the most basic bitch thing you can do in New England.
Bitches love wine.
Like Neshoba Winery and everyone goes and like takes like pictures. We didn't wear any hats and I feel like there's a lot of girls are wearing hats, like big hats.
Ooh, so you were like the odd ones out.
I was like, we're so fucking stupid. Like we might as well just turn around. We don't even have any fucking hats on. Like,
I really believe that's something that you said.
It is. I literally we pulled up.
I'm leaving.
I was going, our friend Liz, like her boyfriend drove us there, which was nice of him.
We love a DD.
Always get a DD, girls, when you're going out. Anyways, he drove us there and I pulled up and the first thing I was just like, all these fucking hats. I was like, we don't even have any hats. Like we look so stupid. They were like, chill.
You're a big hat girl.
But then it was windy out and I was like, haha. Who is the real winner now?
Okay, well, if you guys have a car, it's about 40 minutes out of the city, but it's worth the drive. Go check it out. It's NASHOBA Valley Winery.
It's one of those places where like you go and you won't leave in like you just can like order bottles of wine that just get brought to your table. like throughout the day.
You don't have to move a muscle.
You don't have to move a muscle. And if there's like 4 of you or more, I recommend getting like an Uber from the city. Like it's expensive, but when you break it down, it's like $20 each, and to not have to drive home drunk, I think it's a good bet. So
a good bet. I agree.
All right, drunk deets, baby. Let's dive in.
What do you got?
What do we got? Okay, so Demi Lovato. This is like a quick one, just like a little aside. Demi Lovato thinks that the term alien is derogatory and is like kind of rude towards extraterrestrials. Holy shit.
So towards actual aliens.
Do
you believe in aliens?
No.
Oh, you're boring.
I just don't. It's never been confirmed. Like we've been
a lot of things haven't been confirmed, but people believe in it.
No, I completely understand. My issue with aliens is that people have been looking for them for so long, and it's like we haven't found shit, but we're so obsessed with finding it. Like, how about we try to like fix like the shit we've created on this earth before we like go looking for like other like let's go like fuck up the aliens' lives too. Like no, maybe we just like
fix our lives.
Maybe we try to fix what's going on here first. I just don't. I feel like honestly, this is gonna probably sound like not nice, and people probably aren't gonna like it. I feel like it's kind of childish that people are so obsessed with finding these fucking aliens.
Oh,
like take. You're sitting there just obsessing like, oh my gosh, what if there's life out there? Like, how about like there's all these smart people that are like focused on like spaceships and like all this shit, but it's like, how about try to like find the cure to like a disease, or like I don't know, like end global warming, or try to do something productive.
Are you saying that the Tesla guy is stupid?
Maybe.
What's his name?
Elon. I'm not gonna
say
say it again.
No, I just mixed them all up. All the rich guys. Elon. So you're saying Elon is an idiot?
I just
for
don't
investing in space.
It's not even that I think he's an idiot. I just don't.
Basically,
I just don't really necessarily. So space is freaky. I don't know why we want to go so bad. I think it's scary. Like no one really knows what goes on out there. I don't know. I just don't get the point. Anyways,
you're not a curious gal. It's okay. You just don't want to know.
Like, I'm curious, but I just feel like we haven't found anything, but we're just like investing all this money. Anyways, I'm not even going to go into it. So,
who's the crazy one? You or Demi?
I know, literally. I think we might both be crazy. Everyone on Twitter was just kind of going off about it. This one girl tweeted, "Man, I love Demi Lovato, but first was the yogurt, and now it's the whole aliens thing. Like, what's happening?" Someone else said aliens who don't exist, or at least we don't have concrete proof that they do, but have Demi Lovato advocating for their rights on planet Earth. I just thought that was the funniest thing I've ever heard in my life. And accurate. That's all I have.
All right, well, you heard it here first, guys. Don't call aliens. It's a rude.
Yeah, call them ETs. I feel like ETs sounds ruder. Yeah.
I don't know. Anyways, it wouldn't be drunk deets without mentioning Kardashian Jenner. So here we are.
Without further ado, here we are mentioning them.
Not that anyone's surprised. Kourtney Kardashian and Travis Barker are engaged.
Aww.
Oh. Yeah, so over the weekend, this past Sunday, Travis proposed at the Rosewood, I don't know how to pronounce this, Miramar Hotel.
Miramar. Sounds good to me.
In Montecito. Mm-hmm. Also don't know how to pronounce that. They had just gotten back from New York City. So, Kourtney was completely caught off guard. So, she thought that they were just taking a day trip to like unwind from their trip in New York.
Montecito, cute. That's actually smart to do it like that, like after a big trip, because that way they don't suspect it.
That's true. Travis recruited the family florist, Jeff Leatham, sorry if I butchered that, who set the scene for the ultimate beachside proposal, which it was. Did you see?
It was insane.
Those roses.
There was so many roses. And a lot of roses were harmed in the making of that proposal.
So many of them were plucked for it. But you couldn't miss the 6-carat diamond.
That's so many carats.
That's honestly too heavy.
Yeah.
There's such thing as too much.
You think so? You think 6 carats is
I think.
Do you think it's as big as we think it is though? Because I feel like diamonds, like you see like a picture and then you see it in person, it's like 1 carat is like a speck. Well, not actually, but you know what I mean? Like, yeah. I feel like you take a picture on like Pinterest or whatever, but if you saw it in person, I feel like it's always smaller than you think it would be.
I think 6 carats is a lot. I think, 3 would have been fine.
That's true. I feel like 3 is like the perfect.
I'm more of like a 2-carat kind of gal. I'd even do a 1.5-er only because I don't really like wearing rings that much because I literally don't like the feeling of them.
So if you lost it, like you wouldn't want to feel like too guilty.
Not even if I lost it, but it would be like a lot for me to get used to.
Oh, okay.
Like the weight of it on my finger.
Yeah,
I don't want a heavy diamond. Honestly,
so Mystery Man, if you're listening, just like get Abby like a cubic zirconia or like one of those like lab made crystal things.
Honestly, yeah, I'll take it because you could get a bigger rock for a lot less. Honestly, I'll take an opal. It's my birthstone. If anyone was wondering.
Cute.
Anyways, I thought that this was interesting because I put up a story on our story asking you guys.
Wait, they've only been dating for like a year, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like it's a little? Do you feel like it's a little soon?
I don't know. I think yes and no.
Okay.
I feel like it's one of those things where it's like they're at an age, like they're both older. They both have kids. I feel like they're not like messing around at this point in their life.
True.
She's personally, I wouldn't rush.
Yeah. Well, she's also hasn't been married. Like she's the only one out of all of them that hasn't, right? Because her and Scott never got married.
Oh shit, you're right.
Isn't that crazy? Like I was thinking about that. I was like, oh, another Kardashian wedding. Then I was like, wait, like she never got one.
Oh, it's her first. That's so sweet.
Which is kind of cute.
Wow. Well, we asked you guys, are you Team Travis or Team Youre? And it's actually okay. So I'm gonna ask you, what are you?
Okay, so I love Travis Barker. I think he's a really awesome and amazing person. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's like so toxic and like evil and like twisted, but I really just like have such a soft spot for Scott Disick. I don't know why. Okay,
so I also voted Team Youre, also because I'm toxic.
Maybe it's like a personal issue.
Personal for sure. 53% voted for Travis and 47% voted for Scott.
So like pretty even.
Last time I checked, Youre was in the winning.
Okay.
But that's clearly changed. And I'm honestly a little shocked. I thought, I feel like a lot of people have been talking shit about Courtney and Travis. Like I've been seeing on TikTok, like, oh, Courtney's changed her whole personality. She's changed her whole wardrobe. Like she's changing who she is for Travis, like XYZ. And I didn't really think that many supported them.
Honestly, like we just said, I feel like it's because Scott is just like so
toxic.
Yeah,
he is.
And it's like he's
but
like,
why do I want
I know, I don't know why I want them. I feel like it's because we like fell in love with like this idea of them.
I was just rooting for him. Like I really thought that he could get his life together and win her back, and she just was done.
And you know what it was? For so many years, like think about it. We grew up watching Keeping Up with the Kardashians.
That's
like
true.
we grew up watching it. Like
Scott.
We grew up with them. Like we were a part of that relationship. Like we were there.
We were invested.
Back in 2008 when like they were like in Miami and he was like a complete scumbag. And then we were there when he kind of like turned it around and started becoming this like amazing dad. And they started like working on their relationship. And we were like, oh my God, this is it. Like they're gonna get married. And then we started to watch like the slow downfall of him when he started like getting back into like drinking a lot and like he started treating her kind of shitty again. Like we watched so much of it and I almost feel like it was our relationship. Like we all kind of like we're part of it, which is so creepy.
I was gonna say I agree, but I think that's so unhealthy because I think so many people get way too invested in not just other people's relationships, but celebrities in particular. Like for instance, if you guys follow me on my personal Instagram, you'll see that I went off recently a couple weeks ago about the whole like Hailey Bieber versus Selena Gomez thing. Like people were chanting Selena's name at like a red carpet event when Hailey and Justin were just trying to take their photos and keep it moving.
Oh my God, that was like the saddest thing
heartbreaking.
I've ever seen. Like Hailey was like trying not to cry and someone had to give her like sunglasses to look like she wasn't crying.
And it was their anniversary. It was like their 3-year marriage anniversary that night.
It's so sad. Yeah. No, I know what you mean. I feel like people get so wrapped up in these like celebrities' relationships. And it must be because we just like grew up watching their lives like unfold before us and we just got like way too unhealthy about it. Like I don't know why I always bring up Vampire Diaries, but I know like Elena and Damon from the show, like in real life it's Nina Dobrev and Ian Somerhalder, but they dated for years and I remember like
in real life?
Yes.
And in the show? I don't watch, so I don't know.
I mean, I can't give away too much about the show, but yeah. But they always had this like crazy chemistry on the show and they were like dating in real life and then they end up breaking up in real life and he ends up like it was like it's all this drama, but ends up like getting married to this other girl that at one point was like one of Nina Doborev's friends, but it's because she didn't want to like settle down yet, and he did. I don't remember, but anyways, he's like happily married with this other girl for like years. Like they have children together, and are like happily married, like no like divorces, nothing. And people still to this day are like, oh my god, like but him and Nina, they were so perfect. What about this? Like the way they looked at each other, their chemistry, like their tension, like all this stuff, and it's like. We can't like people just can't like they can't turn the page and be like, yo, like this dude's married, and also like that relationship that we were also obsessed with like probably didn't actually exist. Like that's probably not what they were actually like.
No,
in real life,
because the Courtney situation is different, but like in every other circumstance, like it's literally acting, and yes, they may have flourished into a relationship off the set, but for the most part, like people get invested in relationships that aren't even real.
I also feel like this is such like a weird aside, but I also think our because we talked about like why was everyone so obsessed with like Scott and Courtney when they didn't have like a great relationship. I almost feel like the way that like Hollywood portrays like love, like, they try to like make it toxic, and they try to like make you feel like that's what love should be like in Gossip Girl. It's like if you think about it, like, Chuck and Blair are actually so fucked up. Like their relationship is horrible, and like he's like borderline abusive, but they like make it seem like that's like what love is, and that's like what it should be like, and it's like so intense and beautiful, and like well no, like that's an abusive relationship like in real life. But it's like wow. Hollywood convinces us like we should want that, so when we see it we're like, oh my god, like that's I need to have that, like that's the type of love I need. But it's like, yo, no bitch, like no one needs that in their life.
Wow, I've never noticed that pattern, that literally so many movies and TV shows are all like toxic relationships, but you can't help but be obsessed with
Think about how toxic they all are. But it's because they have to do that to keep people interested, because it's a fucking TV show. Like if they just showed a regular couple like getting off work and like throwing on Netflix and like falling asleep and waking up and doing it the next day, like no one would watch that show.
Damn. That's true.
Shit's crazy.
You know, I wish the best for Travis and Courtney. Hopefully they stick it out, but I know a lot of people were rooting for Scott. I think people over-romanticize everything.
Yeah.
And people need to stop thinking that everything will be, you know, this insane, unrealistic expectation.
Yeah. What do you think you like romanticize? Like I feel like that's such like a popular thing people are saying these days.
It is. It's like a trend to romanticize the little things in life. And I think that is important, but you know, at least me personally, what do I romanticize? I feel like I romanticize the future a lot and what that will look like, and I feel like it changes every day, to be honest. Yeah. But you know, you romanticize, you know, how you're going to be proposed, you know, if you're going to buy a house in the suburbs, what kind of car you're going to drive, even like a career you can romanticize.
Yeah, 100%. I'm the exact same way. Like, I feel like I constantly am like thinking in this like alternate like dream world reality of like, oh my gosh, and like then I'm gonna like, you know, walk out of my job and I'm gonna like be carrying like this like coffee and walk around the city and then meet up with my girls for like brunch before I do this. And it's like, well, no, like that's just like Sex in the City. Like that's not your life. Like, and I think we all do that. And to your point, like I think there's a difference between like, because there's like the trend on TikTok right now, right? It's like romanticize like the little things in your life or whatever. And I think that can be healthy, basically just being like, I'm going to take a second and almost like stop and smell the roses. Like, you know, be excited about like this small little moment where like I grabbed, you know, lunch with my friends, or like I walked and like saw the sunset, like little things like that, like learning to like romanticize and like be happy with like the skin that you're living in. I think that's good. I think where it becomes like toxic is when people like almost like romanticize like the life that they think they should have versus the one that they have. And they're like, well, if I'm not doing X, Y, and Z, and like if my boyfriend isn't like looking at me and telling me that I'm gorgeous every single day, or if I'm not getting to like go out and like wear these clothes and like go to this party and go do that, like I'm a failure. Like I feel like that's when it becomes like an issue.
Yeah, I agree, because it all goes back to TikTok. But there's another trend on TikTok. We were talking to Peter about this earlier. We're like, do you know who that girl is? And he's like, what? Like, no. But for those of you who don't have that girl on your TikTok For You page, basically that girl is, you know, the girl who wakes up at 5 a.m. She meditates, journals, juices an entire cucumber, and sings Kumbaya all before I'm even awake. But
juicing entire cucumber takes some time too.
I think I meant celery.
Yeah, I was like, I thought you were gonna say celery, but you said cucumber, and I was like, honestly, I kind of like that.
Do people juice cucumbers?
I don't know.
Okay, well, whatever
juice is okay, go on.
Whatever that girl does, I just feel like society has formed this version of what you think that your life should be, and if it doesn't look like that girl, then your life isn't successful or you're not successful.
100%. It's like do you think it's like recent? Like this obsession with like, I have to wake up 5 a.m. and I have to journal, then go to the gym, then juice, then have my matcha, then like go for a walk, come back inside, go outside again, come back inside, do 5 loads of laundry. Like there's no time for TV.
No. Well, I think what people fail to realize is that what you see online is only a portion of that person's day. Like you could post content that looks like that girl and literally be a lazy slob the rest of the day. Like it literally takes seconds to make a clip and you're only seeing so many seconds of someone's day. Like what are they doing the rest of the day?
That's
probably being a normal person.
Being normal, but you're not seeing that.
No. And I feel like most people forget, like, I mean, there are people that are that girl and, you know, they might go to school full time and have a full time job and that's great. But a lot of the times that girl is, you know, an influencer who gets paid to create content like that. Or, you know, she's in college and she has 2 classes and she doesn't have like a full time job that, you know, if you wake up at 5 a.m. before work and do all that, you're long term, you might be exhausted and it's not realistic.
You're probably going to be like miserable. And I think like the biggest thing here is we're not like shitting on people that can do that. Like I think it's awesome if like you can get up early and like journal and like do all these like great things, like good for you. I think the issue is like when people start to put all this pressure on themselves that they're not doing those things and like they're failing somehow. Like, okay, if I don't do all these things, I'm not eating like this perfectly healthy diet and like going to the gym for 4 hours a day, like, okay, I'm like a failure and like I'm not like a well-balanced person. Like there's like this obsession with like, okay, like I have to just be like balanced and like I have to exfoliate every day. And like that's great if you can do that. You know what I mean? But I just feel like people are putting this pressure on themselves. And to your point, Abby, like so many of those girls that you see on TikTok or on YouTube or Instagram or whatever, like they're either, like you said, probably college kids who might have like a few classes every day and then have some free time, or they're probably like getting paid to do this and like this is their full-time job. So like they're getting up and they're like creating content. Like that does look good and like makes you get motivated. Like half their content, like the purpose of it is so that people see it and are like, wow, now I feel motivated like to get up and do laundry and take a shower or whatever. But I feel like sometimes it has like an effect where it just starts to make people feel a little bit like down about themselves. And I feel like that's when it becomes an issue.
Yeah. I think like you just said, if you want to be motivated by that girl.
We can't talk. I feel like neither of us can talk tonight. I keep like trying to say words and they're just not coming out of my mouth.
If you want to be motivated by that girl, that's fine. But make sure you're doing it for the right reasons and not because you think that's what you need to do to gain approval from society. Like if you don't like meditating, that's okay. If you don't like matcha, that's okay.
Matcha.
If you're not a morning person, that's okay. Like if your life doesn't look like that girl, that is okay. Like I think people forget like you can create your own version of that girl because success looks different to everyone. And everything I just listed, I don't like doing. I'm not a morning person.
Yeah.
I'm not going to make my own matcha because I would rather go buy it for $5 and just blow my money.
Yeah, that's the best feeling. I love being able to spend as much of my money as possible.
I can't
just have nothing in the bank account.
I can't journal. I wish I could. I just can't.
I start doodling.
My ADHD said no. Meditating, yeah, right. My brain.
I don't think you should be alone with your own thoughts.
I agree. But that doesn't mean that, you know, my life is any less than.
No, that's such a good point. I think like we always talk about this, like our culture, like we have this obsession with focusing on one thing, like one phrase, one this, one that. And right now I feel like the way to live life is like you have to wake up and live like this lifestyle. And if you don't, like, okay, well, there's no room for you then. And I think
that's why we created this whole podcast is like, it's not anti that girl, but it's pro like live the life that you want, and like it's a realistic lifestyle.
Yeah, and like make shit happen. And honestly, like you and I were talking about this the other day. I probably worked out like consistently from February until like a month ago. Like tried to like work out like probably 3 to 4 times a week.
That's a long time.
Maybe more. Yeah.
Of consistency.
Yeah. And I loved it. Like I was in such a good place, and I was like, wow, like working out is making me so happy, and like I love it, and I feel like I'm doing it for the right reasons, like not to lose weight, but just to like be happy.
For your mental health. Yeah.
But then the past month of my life, or month and a half, I would say, I feel like we've been so busy and like traveling so much and doing so many things, and like there's been so much going on with like my 9 to 5 job, and then I was also just like moving apartments, and there was just so much going on, and I literally haven't been in like one place long enough to like get settled there and to like do things like wake up early and go to the gym. I remember I was talking to my mom the other day, and I was like, I just feel like so shitty about myself. Like I'm not like going to the gym, not working out. I feel like I'm being so like lazy. And she was like, Shannen, you're not being lazy at all. Like you're literally running all over the place. And she was like, don't like hold yourself to this pressure, because she was like, guess what, when your life calms down again in a few months, you can get right back into it. And I was like, that's like so true. And I feel like I was thinking a lot about this like when we were talking earlier, and I just think like the healthy, like not for everyone maybe, but like at least for myself, and I'm sure there's others that feel the same way, the healthy way might be to like go through like seasons of things. Like instead of having to put yourself in a box, like I feel like we feel this urge to put ourselves like in a box, like, oh, I'm a messy person, I'm a clean person, I'm a detail oriented person, I'm a whatever. Instead, how about just like, all right, I'm going through a season in my life right now where I'm really into, you know, like waking up early and like working out and, you know, journaling. And then maybe in a few months, all of a sudden you're like, I'm so like just exhausted and I've had such a crazy summer. And maybe you're like, you know what? I just need to like chill and just be a lazy fuck and watch Netflix for a month. And like, that's fine too. And then you can pick it up again.
Exactly. I feel like there's no right or wrong answer, because it's your life and it's whatever you want to do. And you shouldn't let people on TikTok make you feel like shit about the choices that you make in your life.
100%.
Unless you're like doing harm to yourself or others, then like do you. Don't worry about what people on TikTok are doing, because at the end of the day, you have to remember everything online is fake. Literally fake.
So true.
Nothing you see is what actually is real. And so stick with us, and you'll see that we want you guys to be happy in whatever way that is to you.
Exactly. Like think of your life, like I know everyone talks about like main character syndrome lately. Like think of your life as like it's a movie, and you are, as we just talked about, like don't romanticize your life too much, but like think about your life as you're in a movie and you are the main character, but like you can go through like different seasons, like different movies, and you can be different main characters in each sequel, and you can be like a different main character every time if you want to be, and like that's fine. You can be like the cool fun like spunky girl, and then like next season you could be the bookworm who stays in all the time, like whatever, because it's your fucking movie. Also, main characters know that they're main characters and don't have to say that they're a main character. Just saying. I feel like people on TikTok are like feeling like the main character. And it's like, no, if you were really a main character, everyone would just know it. That's actually, yeah, it's the trends. I can't. I know. I deleted TikTok for like 2 weeks because I just couldn't do the trends anymore. Really? Is it back? It's back. Have it it's back. Now? Okay. It was just like a short like stint. But I couldn't live without it. So we're back. No, we need to post more content on TikTok. I know. Okay, so obviously we talked about Courtney, we talked about Travis, we talked about Scott a little bit, but I know the biggest thing, kind of circling back to that a lot of people were commenting on Courtney's engagement post, other than congratulations, was, oh my God, what is Scott gonna do? Someone check on Can someone Scott. Please get a wellness check for Scott? Like, for the love of God, is he okay? I just feel like poor Scott, I feel like just people are like, this dude is just like obsessed with his ex. He is. It really is sad. I've never seen anything quite like it. Did you see the thing that like went viral like a few weeks ago, or like 2 months ago or whenever, when he like messaged her other ex? I did hear about it. What is his name? It's like, I don't remember. It makes me want to say Yvonne's like here, but it's Younes. So one of Courtney's exes, right? Yeah. So he messaged like another one of Courtney's exes. I'm not sure which one. Basically just being like, yo, is this that chick one? Okay. Yeah, well, I don't know who he is. I guess what I'm saying. And he just was like, yo, is this chick okay? And like sent a picture of Courtney and Travis like making out in Italy or something.
Because he's bitter.
And the guy like reached back out to him and was like, yeah, she can do whatever she wants as long as she's happy. Oh, by the way, I'm not your bro. Because he like was like, yo, bro, is like is she good or something? And he's like, I'm not your bro.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that part.
So obviously like that went, and the guy took a screenshot and put it on his own Instagram story. Yeah. So everyone saw it went viral and everyone was like, oh my God, so embarrassing.
Oh
like,
my God,
Scott's
that's
so
why she was like, because she said to Scott like that, like, you know that he can't be trusted.
Yeah, because the guy went and like took a screenshot and put it on his own Instagram story being ha like what a fucking tool like about Scott.
Ew,
just like,
I hate him.
I know. But I don't know. I just feel like Scott is the type of guy, and I feel like we've seen so many guys like this before, who is just like sits by his phone looking at pictures of Courtney, like can't help himself but to like obsess over like what she's doing, who she's with, like where she's going out. Like, and I feel like that's like so normal.
Unfortunately, I feel like a lot of people, they probably don't want to admit it, but they low key are, you know, checking, even if it's not even an ex, it could be like an ex fling, like someone that they used to talk to, you know, they might be looking at their Snap score, or they're looking at them on their Snap map, or you know, before Instagram decided to screw us all over, like checking who their following like count was. And no one wants to admit it, but like I feel like we all low-key have, or maybe it's just us that have like addictive personalities where it's like, I think it's rejection, honestly. I think it's when people get rejection, they become obsessed. Yeah. And because it's like, well, why didn't we work out?
As I feel like whenever something doesn't work out, it's like you start to think, well, what if that was what I should have done? Like people are so scared of like making the wrong decision that they like
the what ifs.
Yeah. But I don't know. I think it obviously depends on the situation, but like it just like got me thinking, like there's been so many times when I've gone through breakups where I have this like natural inclination to like want to like listen to a song that reminded me of him, or to like watch the movie that we used to watch together. Like I know when Michael and I were broken up, like I was just like wanted to like almost like hang on to like any little thing that could remind me of him. Like I remember this is so lame. I almost like don't want to say it, but
do it.
He always had like my
You're in too deep now.
He had my like Netflix like he'd use my Netflix when we were dating, and I feel like usually like when you break up, like the person's probably supposed to stop using your Netflix, I guess. I don't know how other relationships work. So I guess they continue using it, but I remember like we'd be broken up and I would be like in my bed watching Netflix, and all of a sudden, like, you know, it says like continue watching for Shannen.
Yeah.
So it would say continue watching for Shannen, and it would be like Last Chance You, or like some show that's like blatantly him, like a sports show, and he'd be like currently watching it. And I remember like, because at that point, like I had him blocked on Instagram, like I didn't have him on anything, and that was like the last thing we had that could connect us. And I remember just like sitting there, just like staring at it, just being like, wow, we're both watching this at the same time.
That is creepy.
Oh my God, that sounded so creepy saying it out loud.
Oh, that's sad.
But like, and then I thought about it and I was like, why am I torturing myself? Like, why wouldn't I just either kick him off my Netflix or just like not think about it? But I just feel like sometimes it made me like just kind of realize that when you do care about someone, you get out of that relationship. If you're not over it yet, because if you are over it, then you wouldn't do this. But I would hope. It just made me realize that I think sometimes like I like to be reminded of how much I cared. It's almost like we go through life, we go through the motions, and we go out with our friends and we do this and we have a job and we just kind of like go through and like gloss through life. And then I feel like something traumatic happens, like you get broken up with, or like something happens like that. And sometimes it's nice to remember like, wow, like I care so much and I'm like so upset because I loved this person so much. And like sometimes it's nice to like feel things again.
Oh God, I hope you and Michael never break up. But what I will say, I can admit something about Netflix too, to make you feel better. So if you don't know, if you are the owner of the Netflix account, I used to do this back when I was in a long-term relationship that obviously didn't work out, but there was a period where, you know how like in a relationship, like there's always the person that likes the other person more.
Yeah.
So during the times where I liked him more than he liked me, and there'd be times we would fight all the time. And whenever he was ignoring me, like via text or whatever, he like, I don't know if I had his Netflix or he had mine, but like you can go onto Netflix and see like the timestamps of like episodes that they watch. And so I would literally go into those settings and be like, okay, like I texted him at 12:52 a.m. and he watched an episode of The Office at 1:01 a.m. Like he's awake. He's ignoring me.
He's just ignoring me. What if he fell asleep while the TV was playing?
Oh, true. Well, you should have told me that like, I don't know, 4 years ago.
Oh my God. Wait, that's like the equivalent of like texting a guy and then like you don't hear back, but then you see him like post an Instagram story. You know that like feeling you get?
Well, luckily Netflix cuts you off. After.
That's okay. That's good.
So.
But why do we do shit like that? And then, you know, you get that like sinking feeling in your stomach when you realize the person, like they're very much on their phone. They're just not answering you.
Mm-hmm. Ew. I'm so glad that I don't have to deal with
it's the worst
toxic
I
tendencies anymore. But I think, you know, you can't really get over someone if you're constantly checking in on them. And I feel like for Scott, he's never actually really tried to move on. Yeah. Because like I've, you know, thinking back to like even in college, like whenever a friend would go through a breakup, they'd, you know, block their ex or whatever and like ask me like, oh, can you check their story? Can you do this? Can you do that? And like obviously being a friend and like being in their shoes at one point or another, like I'd do it, but at some point you have to cut them off and be like, listen, like you're not going to be able to move on if you don't stop checking in on them and seeing what they're up to. And so I feel like, you know, it's hard for Scott because he has kids with Courtney, so it's like, how can you really shut her out completely, which he obviously can't.
True.
So I think he needs to start dating someone his own age.
100%. I also think like I don't know. I think it's like out of sight, out of mind, and like time really does. Like there's been like so many relationships that I've gotten out of in my life that like I genuinely thought I was like, this is it. Like I'm done. Like I was like, I'm never gonna get over this person. I'm gonna be miserable for the rest of my life. And every single time that something like that happened, I just like over time, like you just get over them. And then one day all of a sudden, like you see their name pop up in your phone and you don't get butterflies anymore because it just doesn't matter anymore. And I feel like it took me like so long because like when you're young, like when you're like a teenager or like even like when you're in your super early 20s, like you just think that like those feelings are going to last forever and then they don't. And then one day they're gone and it's fine. But you're right. Like I feel like you have to like literally be like out of sight, out of mind, like to get to that point.
Yeah. Well, what about in person when you see them?
Like if you're not over them yet?
Mm-hmm.
It's like
because it's so different via text than in person.
We actually have a lot of girls that like write in that are like, okay, so I've been, you know, broken up with this guy for, you know, a few weeks or maybe for like a few months, but I still have feelings for him. Like I'm going to, like we're going back for the holidays.
Oh, Thanksgiving is tough.
Yeah, like I'm going to see him at the hometown bar or like at a house party or like I'm going to be seeing this guy wherever. Like how do I act? It's a tough one.
There's a lot of, I feel like, don'ts than do's.
Yeah, there's like a lot of,
at least that I can think of.
I just think like it sucks to say this because I don't want to generalize, but I feel like as a girl, like it's so easy to go about it the wrong way because we try to
because girls are petty.
We're petty and we like overthink everything, and I think we try to always go like so far on like one end of like the side of things.
Right.
Like for example, how do you feel about, okay, so let's say Jared and Teresa broke up.
Whoa, Teresa.
I don't know what the fuck. Name. I know. I was gonna say Jessica, but I was like, we gotta give the girl a break. Like she's been through so much.
What did our girl Teresa do?
Like let's say Jared like broke up with Teresa, like whatever, and she still has feelings for him. She's not over him. Yeah, they show up at this party. What do you think about her like ignoring him all night? Like doesn't say hi, doesn't even, you know, when like people's like their eye contact darts away from you, like they can't even like be like, it's so obvious, like you almost make eye contact and they just like turn away.
So you're asking me what should she do in this situation?
No, like what do you think when girls do that? Like when they see their ex and they just ignore them all night and like pretend like they're not there.
Well, I think it depends on who broke up with who.
He broke up with her. Like she's the one not over him anymore.
Why? Why did they break up? Do we know?
You want more of context? I don't know.
I just feel like it's so situational.
Well, think about it. He was just over it. He broke up with her and she was devastated. But it's like been like a month or two. They're at this like party and she shows up and he's there?
If you asked me this question a couple years ago, I'd been like, fuck him, ignore him. But like me now, more evolved, mature Abby.
Mature.
I think that being the bigger person will always get you further in life. And I don't really think, if you can date someone for X amount of years or whatever, like you could be civil.
Yeah.
And, you don't have to be overly friendly to them. Like, because when you're overly friendly to someone, that's obvious that it's fake.
Yeah.
But if, you just smile and wave from afar, just acknowledge their presence instead of pretending like you don't see them when you obviously do. There's nothing wrong with that. And
yeah,
I mean, even if, you're walking to the bathroom and you're going to walk by them and just be like, hey, how are you?
Yeah.
Good. And that's it.
100%. I think the worst thing you can do is ignore the person.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, from being like a mature perspective, but also like, I always try to put myself in those shoes. So if I broke up with a guy and like, I could tell he was like probably like upset about it, and then I see him at a party and he can't even look at me, what's my first thought? I'm like, oh my God, he's so petty. He's obviously not over it. Like I would think the guy was like still into me, which is why he couldn't even like say hi. Like he had to ignore me. I'd be like, all right, dude, like I get it. Like you're trying to ignore me because you care so much.
Well, what if their new girlfriend is right next to them, like, and she knows who you are?
Oh.
And is grilling you.
Well, then you have to say hi. You can't just like I don't know.
But what should that guy do if his new girlfriend is with him?
I mean, he's gonna have to say hi.
Oh shit.
I don't really care about the guy in the situation.
Okay.
Like, I don't know. I mean, like, so I feel like if you run in with your ex to like run in to your ex and like you're the one who broke up with them or you're the one in the happy relationship, this doesn't even really apply to you because like you're over it. Like you're good. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like this is more for like the person that was like wronged. The sad one. The breakup E. Yeah. The
one who got broken up with.
Okay. Another thing that I don't think that you should do is try to make the guy jealous. Like
I hate that.
And it's like
it's so cringy and obvious.
He like shows up and all of a sudden you grab the guy next to you and start like put his hand on your boob and start making out with him.
Laughing.
And you're like, oh my God, like you're so funny, Justin.
Ugh.
And Justin's like, I literally didn't fucking even like say it. And she's like, oh my God, no, Justin, totally. We should totally do that later. He's like, I'm literally walking away from you. Like I'm not talking to you.
Oh. Yeah, no, I don't, like I said, Abby a couple years ago, different story, but 2021 Abby would say, don't be that girl. It's not cute and guys see right through it. Everyone in the room can see right through it if they know what's going on. If you're at like a college party or whatever, like everyone obviously knows that you're broken up with, you're no longer with them. And if you're just like making out with the guy next to you, the second your ex walks in, no.
It's so funny because like we've all like probably been there in all these scenarios. Like it's not like this isn't stuff that I've myself done. It's just funny because when you're in like high school or college, like you think you're being like so clever. You're like, oh my God, I know, I'll just like flirt with the guy next to me. And it's like, well, no, he can probably see right through whatever you're doing. I also feel like it goes hand in hand with like the like pretending like you're having so much fun. Like your life is just so fun, like ever since you broke up.
What about sending them a shot? What are your thoughts?
Like across the bar, and just a shot.
Mm-hmm. It could be like a Wolf of Wall Street. When he goes like this with his drink in the air, like take a shot at the same time from across the bar.
Just that's to be cute. Just to like make it like fun.
One last time. We put each other through hell. So let's take a shot.
That's cute,
right?
I think that's adorable.
I think that would be a boss move.
I think I like any move that involves like going up to the guy, maybe either like sending him a shot or like even saying hi and be like, hey, like great to see you. Quick hug. Be like, how have you been? He's like, I've been good. And then like finding an excuse to get out. Because you don't want to linger. Like you don't want to be chilling there and be like, so like, and then before you know it, like 2 tequila sodas deep and you start like crying about the past and you're like, but Jared, like I just don't understand. Like you need to avoid that situation.
Don't get closure in the bar.
No.
That's the time and a place. It was years ago.
Even like maybe grab one of your girlfriends and be like, okay, I'm going to go and say hi to him really quick. Can you grab me when I'm like 10 seconds into the conversation?
Ooh,
so you're like, hey Jared, how have you been? Oh my God, you look great. Like good to see you. And then he's like, yeah, like good to see you too. And one of the your friends grabs you and is like, hey, like Abby, like we have to go like say hi to like Duke, and you're like, oh my God, okay, we'll see you soon, and like you walk away. Like you looked really cool, you didn't act like too butthurt, you said hi, but like you weren't like hanging out talking to him.
I like that.
I feel like hanging out talking to him for like too long is a bad move.
Absolutely, because there's more room for error the longer you linger.
I feel like the one though, like
you're gonna word vomit.
100%. Yeah, you're gonna say something. You're gonna be like, "Yeah, so I love you.
I miss you.
I miss you. I still think about you every day." Oh my gosh. But I feel like the one that I'm definitely guilty of is like trying to like act like you're having fun. Like I feel like I've literally done this where I've like gone to a house party like after breaking up with my like high school boyfriend or something, and like I know he's gonna be there. He shows up and I'm like, oh my God, like tequila shots everyone, like wet t-shirt contest, like jumping up on, and it's like the guy's like, I know what you're doing. Like you're like trying to act like you're so fun. I feel like anything obnoxious is just like a no.
Do you think that there's ever a scenario where violence is the answer?
Like just punching him in the face?
Maybe not like punching them in the face. Maybe I was thinking, I guess maybe not violence, but like maybe throwing a drink in their face. I don't know.
So it's not that I'm against violence, because as we know, I've gotten into like many like a bar fight before, which is a story for another day. I actually do have to tell my fighting stories. But anyways, the only issue I have is like at this point in my life, because I think that's something I would have done when I was younger. I don't like to give someone the satisfaction of knowing that I still give a shit about them. And I feel like if you're going to go through the effort of like throwing a drink in their face, it's because you care. Unless he like cheated on you, in which case, yeah, obviously.
Then it might just feel good to do it.
Then you have to like, you and all your girls should go up and just dump a bunch of like gross, like old fashions all over him.
Old fashions?
I don't know why.
He'd like that.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe just like some straight
burnettes.
Burnettes in his face. Ew, oh my God, imagine.
Smell like cheap vodka.
That is, yeah, that's the worst.
So no.
I don't know. I just, like I said, if he cheated on me or did something like despicable, yes. If I was just doing it because I was like upset, then I think like I wouldn't want to give him the satisfaction of knowing it's like I want to show up in the situation ideally and walk away with him thinking like, wait, like is she actually over me? Like, you know what I mean? True. And have him like wonder like if she's over him. But I will say, like, as a little caveat like to all of this, because like you just brought up like the throwing drink story, it reminded me of this. I think that if you know you're gonna go to, like, with the holidays coming up, like Halloween, Thanksgiving, everything, if you are fresh off of a breakup and you're listening to this right now,
stay home,
and you know that you, whatever place you're going to, like, you know your ex is gonna be there. Like, it's not like, oh my God, I was out in Boston, it's like a small city, I ran into my ex by chance, but like, oh, we're going to like Kyle's house for whatever pregame, and like I know my ex is gonna be there. If you don't think you can handle it, then you probably cannot. Like, I think sometimes we try to like give ourselves like this credit of like, oh, I'm just gonna go and just be really strong and it'll be fine, and it's like, it's never going to be, because there's gonna come a point where you're gonna get too drunk and you're gonna start crying over him. And just like, don't put yourself through that. Just like stay home until you know that you can handle being in that situation.
I agree. And if you have to guess if you're over them, you're not. Like, if you have to think about
play a little game, have change one of your friends contact information to that person's like first and last name, and when they text you, if you feel a weird little feeling in your stomach, that's how you know that you're not over them.
Oh, what an interesting text.
Because that's like the number one thing, like, you know, when you see their name pop up on your phone, like if you feel some sort of way by seeing that, like you still have feelings for that person. But it's like when your ex from like 6 years ago texts me and you're like, what the fuck is this douchebag want? Like, that's how you know you're like good.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you guys for tuning in for another episode. It's so good to be back.
I know, it's so good.
If you liked what you heard, follow us on Spotify, subscribe on Apple.
Subscribe on YouTube, follow on Instagram, follow on TikTok?
Yeah.
Or do you subscribe on TikTok? No, you follow on TikTok. Shit. Peter.
Follow on TikTok.
Yeah. Follow on TikTok and follow on Spotify.
And join our private Facebook group.
Yes, and if you guys like what you heard today, definitely leave us a rating and review. If you want to leave 5 stars, that would be so cute.
It would be.
Abby loves the number 5.
I do. I like 5 stars. I like 5-star dining. I like 5-star 5-star reviews. I like all the stars.
5-star Yelp reviews.
Those too.
So leave 5 stars. If you don't want to leave 5 stars, just leave like any number of stars except for 2 or 1. Like I feel like 3 is fine. If you're like, I'm gonna leave 3 stars, I get that. But
5
do that.
or bust.
It means the world when you guys leave ratings and reviews. We have some events coming up over the next few weeks. We're gonna be releasing the details here shortly. We're gonna be partnering with Dezo and a few other brands with some fun stuff that we have coming up. So stay on the lookout in our private Facebook group where we're going to be releasing those details. Our next one is going to be a boozy brunch, which we're so excited for. It's going to be dope. And other than that, I know we have Halloween coming up. So let us know if you want us to do an episode where we touch on Halloween and what Halloween outfits people are doing this year. Are you doing a Halloween outfit this year?
I don't have anything currently planned.
You told me you had something planned 3 months ago.
I did, and I didn't pull trigger on it.
Oh.
But Amazon 2-day delivery.
That's so
still a possibility, but I need somewhere worth it to wear it to.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. Well, tell me what it is.
We'll circle back.
Okay. We'll circle back. I have a wedding on Halloween, so I can't celebrate it. So I'm thinking this weekend, it's one of our friends' birthdays. And me and Abby were like, let's just make it Halloween themed. And no one else wants to do that, but we're probably just going to force it to happen anyways.
We'll see.
But anyways, guys, thank you for listening every single week. DM us. Let us know if this weekend you're going to get out there, run into your ex and not give a fuck. Please don't throw a drink at him. Act like the bigger person. And we'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.